It is Saturday, May 6th, the first Saturday of May, which means one thing. The Derby is nigh. The Derby is nigh. We are 4.5 hours away from the 143rd running of the Kentucky Derby, the Run for the Roses. Good news out of Louisville, the sun has come out, it stopped raining, it's 56 degrees, it's cool, but perfect conditions for a great race. Let's take a look at the contestants. In the number one post, we have Looking at Lee, 27-1 long shot. Now, he comes from the clouds. He's a closer, a late closer. He'll need a fast pace and a complete pace breakdown to have any effect on the outcome. Now, he's run against Classic Empire 3 times. Classic Empire was the morning line favorite a couple days ago. Now it's at 7-1, and he's lost all 3. But in the Arkansas Derby, just about a month ago, he was coming fast and only lost by a length and a half. He's in the dreaded 1 hole, which is the worst spot to start at the Kentucky Derby, but it's not going to affect him too much. He's just going to drop back, save ground, and he'll be flying late. I understand why people would want this guy for a long shot, but I'm not taking him. So that's Looking at Lee. In the second hole, we have Thunder Snow. Thunder Snow qualified for the Derby by winning the United Arab Emirates Derby. Now, no horse that's won in Dubai has ever come to Churchill and won. In fact, no horse that's won in Dubai has ever come better than 5th. He is a first-time Lasix user, which I'm a sucker for. I like first-time Lasix users. It's a drug that helps horses breathe, but I am putting a line through Thunder Snow. I want nothing to do with him. In the 3 hole, we have Fast and Accurate. He's at 38-1. Now, I thought he'd be the longest shot in the field. I thought he'd be like 60-1, but he's at 38-1. He wasn't nominated for the Triple Crown. He surprised his owners when he won the Spiral Stakes, which qualified him for the Derby. Most of our experts believe that the Spiral Stakes was the weakest of all Derby preps. Now, to race in this Derby, his owners had to put up $200,000 just to let him run, and they did that. But this is a horse who's not qualified to run against these badass horses, man. On December 4th, he was in a $30,000 claiming race. For $30,000, you could have bought Fast and Accurate. He's won 3 consecutive races. That streak will end today. I want nothing to do with him. The 4th horse is Untrapped. Now, he's the longest shot in the field, 63-1, which surprises me. I mean, this is a good horse. He came 2nd in the Rising Star, 3rd in the Rebel. I mean, he's a long shot, but that big of a long shot? I mean, that's a live number. Those are crooked numbers, 63-1. The good news is that he won his first ever race at Churchill Downs on November 20th of last year. The bad news is that's the only race he's ever won. I want nothing to do with him. Untrapped? No thank you. Now we get to the 5 horse, Always Dreaming. I've been watching Always Dreaming so closely, and I've fallen in love with this horse. John Velasquez is riding him. He's only run 3 times around 2 turns and won them all effortlessly. He won 1 by 11.5 lengths, 1 by 5 lengths, 1 by 4 lengths. He just makes it look so easy. His dad, Bodemeister, came 2nd in the Kentucky Derby and 2nd in the Preakness. Word from Louisville is he's bouncing off the track. He's overly excited. Now, that could mean a couple things. That could mean he'll jump out of the gate, he'll run a 21 4/4, a 45 half, and be exhausted by the time he gets to the finish line and finish poorly. Or it could mean he's sitting on a huge effort, and that is what I tend to believe. I believe that Always Dreaming will do what his dad could not and win the Kentucky Derby. Number 5, Always Dreaming. I believe he will win the Kentucky Derby. Now, let's go to the 6 horse, State of Honor. State of Honor is at 55-1, long shot. A lot of Canadian fans have a soft spot for State of Honor because he's bred here in Ontario. Now, he's a tough horse. He'll go to the lead. He goes to the lead in every race. He'll be in the top 2 or 3, but in every single race he's had around 2 turns, he's lost ground to the winner in the final 1/8 of a mile. I believe that will happen for him again. He's not suited for this distance. Now, he's trained by Mark Casse, and Mark Casse became a world-renowned trainer here at Woodbine. So, but also Casse's the trainer for the 14 horse, Classic Empire, who will be in the running in this one. And an interesting note on Mark Casse, that even after Classic Empire won the Arkansas Derby, Casse is 4 for 86 in graded dirt races. 4 for 86. That's a 5.5 winning percentage, which means that in every $2 investment, you get 39 cents return on your investment. So I am going to leave State of Honor alone, and we'll move on to the 7 horse, Gervin, at 21-1. Now, he's unbeaten in 3 starts on dirt. Never lost on dirt, only lost once on turf. He won the Grade 2 Risen Star, won the Grade 2 Louisiana Derby. Now, we've seen many horses dominate the Louisiana preps and then come to Churchill and be no factor. I think this is going to happen again. Now, Mike Smith is riding him, easily one of the best jockeys in the world, won yesterday's Kentucky Oats. But the reason why we're staying away from Gervin is that a couple weeks ago they found a crack on his front right hoof. And so for the last 2 weeks, they didn't want to put pressure on his foot, so they had him training in a swimming pool. The last thing you want is your Derby pick to be training in a swimming pool. We need to be training on dirt. We're going to leave him alone. Can't bet on him with that injury. Let's go to the 8-horse, Hence. Now, Hence has Florent Giroux riding him, who's an incredible jockey. And he comes off a huge score in the Sunland Derby. He earned a 97 bear. There are only 3 horses in this field that have run triple-digit bears. 97's a monster bear. Not only that, but in that race, he beat IRAP. IRAP, who then went on to win the Bluegrass Derby, the Bluegrass Stakes. And in that race, IRAP beat McCracken, Taprit, J-Boy's Echo, Practical Joke. All those horses are in this race, and IRAP beat them in the Bluegrass, and Hence beat IRAP. Not only did he beat IRAP, but he beat Conquest Mo Money, who lost in the Arkansas Derby by a nose to Classic Empire. He is everybody's sneaky pick. He's a deep closer. He'll need racing luck. I like Hence. I have Hence in a few of my exotics, and he's at 15-1. Now we go to the 9-horse, IRAP, who we just talked about. Now, he won the Bluegrass. He was a maiden. A maiden won the Bluegrass Stakes. That's unheard of. He won it at 31-1. And it was a special. He's a tough horse. Now, his jockey is Mario Gutierrez. Now, Mario is my favorite jockey in the world. He plied his trade in Hastings Park in Vancouver, and I love him. Also, he's 2 for 2 in Kentucky Derbies. He won in 2016 with Nyquist, and in 2012 with I'll Have Another. His dad, not Mario's dad, but IRAP's dad, is Tisnow, and he won 2 Breeders' Cup Classics. I will use him in some of my lower exotics. 39-1 is a really nice number. Now let's go to the number 10, Gunnevera. I love Gunnevera. All gamblers love Gunnevera because he was bought as a yearling for $16,000. That's it. $16,000. Compare that to Taprit, the 16 horse in this. Taprit was bought as a yearling for $1.2 million. So Gunnevera was bought for $16,000. He's already made $1,170,000 winnings. He's got J.J. Castellano riding him. He had a massive Fountain of Youth stakes at Gulfstream. Massive. He ran a 97 bear. Looked so impressive. He comes from the clouds. And the reason why he's not the favorite in this race is because after the Fountain of Youth, he ran in the Florida Derby. He was an even money favorite, and he came third and didn't look very good. Always Dreaming, the 5-horse, who I like to win the Derby, was in that race and beat him by 6 or 7 lengths. Now, a couple good things about Gunnevera. One, he comes from the clouds, and 1.25 miles is no problem. He can handle the distance. And 2, if it does start raining again, he can handle that too. I've got Gunnevera in my exotics. I like Gunnevera. Now, the 11-horse is Battle of Midway at 38-1. Now, Battle of Midway ran a courageous Santa Anita Derby, came second, but ran so strong, so hard. But we believe that this is a very weak group of California horses. Mastery was involved with California. Mastery would have been the favorite to win the Kentucky Derby, but he hurt himself. The rest of the horses there are weak. So even though he was a courageous race, we're not going to give it too much credit. Also, he never raced as a 2-year-old. The last horse to win the Kentucky Derby who didn't race as a 2-year-old was Apollo in 1882. 1882! Man, Battle of Midway, has the curse of Apollo and will not win the Kentucky Derby, but could be in the running. I'm going to use him on a little bit of my late exotics. Now, the 12th horse is Sonneteer. Sonneteer has a lot of experience. He's tied for the most experience in this whole race, 10 races. And his bear keeps improving. The only problem is in those 10 races, he's won 0 of them. Zilch. He's the only maiden in the race. The last maiden to win the Kentucky Derby was in 1933. Broker's tip. I do not think that streak will end this year. Now, Sonneteer is a fun horse. He comes from the clouds. He's a late runner. And you're going to get a juicy number on him. It's 35-1 right now. I think it'd go up to 50-1. Sonneteer's dad is one of my favorite horses of all time, Midnight Loop. And Sonneteer is trained by Keith DeSormo, and the jockey is Kent DeSormo. They're a great brother team. And Sonneteer could do some damage. He'll be flying late. There's going to be a few horses flying late. Sonneteer is one of them. Now let's go to the 13, J-Boy's Echo. I cannot believe he's at 44-1. I'm shocked. I'm going to put some money on J-Boy's Echo. He's one of only 3 horses to boast a triple-figure bear. He won the Gotham Stakes, and he qualified for the Derby at that point. But they wanted to keep him running, keep him prime. So they had him run in the Bluegrass, and he didn't even need to win, and he didn't really menace. He came 5th. He didn't look that good. I believe that horses that spend the winter in New York are not amongst the best in the nation. But 44 to 1 is nuts for one of only 3 horses to drop a triple figure bear. It's incredible. J-Boy's dad is 2003 Horse of the Year Mineshaft. And I'm going to put J-Boy Echo in my exotics, man. How can you not? 44 to 1. Now we come to the 14 horse. Classic Empire. Man, is this an interesting horse. He was a 2-year-old champion. I watched him win the Breeders' Juvenile. But this horse has issues. He is cantankerous. His jockey is Julien Laperoux. The one time Julien didn't ride him, Irad Ortiz rode him. And right at the gate, Classic Empire bucked Irad and then just stopped and stared at him. I've never seen that in my whole life. I've seen horses buck their jockey and keep running, but this horse just bucked him and stared at him, was like, what up? Gangster. But do you want a gangster horse? I don't. I don't want to bet on a gangster horse. The only time... so also, he had 2 prep races for the Derby. The first prep race, they found out that he had a crack in his hoof. He ran 3rd, and it was a strange race. And then he wouldn't train. They tried to get him out trained. He wouldn't train. He is his own boss, and I don't know if you want that in a Derby pit. His connections had one chance to get him in the Derby. Mark Casse and his son Norm Casse had one chance to get him in the Derby, and it was the Arkansas Derby, and he won it courageously. He's a tough horse. He's going to be in the mix, but would you want to put all your money on a horse who barely trained over the last few months, had a hoof injury? I don't think so. Now, I've got him in some of my exotics because he's a very talented horse, but that's it. All right, let's go to the 15, McCracken, 7-1. Now, McCracken would be the favorite in this race if he didn't drop a dud in the Bluegrass. It made no sense. He was a big favorite. He's won every single one of his races at Churchill. He's 3 for 3 at Churchill. But it's fair to question the quality of horses he's run against. He's run against State of Honor. He beat State of Honor. He beat Tappert. But then when he went against the big boys in the Bluegrass, he failed to menace. His dad is Go Zapper. Go Zapper won the Breeders' Cup Classic. McCracken is dangerous. I got him on some of my exotics. He's a talented horse, 3 for 3 at Churchill. Now let's go to the 16, Tappert. We talked a bit about him today. He's at 27-1. He cost $1.2 million as a yearling. After he won the Tampa Bay Derby, he was high on everybody's list. He runs it with a 96 Bear. He looks so good. And then he goes to the Bluegrass and loses by 11.5 lengths. It made no sense. Who wins the Derby after a clunker? Nobody. Now, Tappert was bred to go long, and 27-1 is a juicy, juicy number, and Tappert will be involved in my exotics. All right, now 17, Irish War Cry. People are hammering Irish War Cry for good reason. He's down to 5-1. He will end up being close to the co-favorite. He's raced 5 times, won 4. Now, his only loss was a couple months ago in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. He lost to Gunnevera by 21 3/4 lengths. If you put a line through that one race, he's an absolute monster. 4 for 4. Why did he run so badly in the Fountain of Youth? Can we just throw that race out the window? Because if you do throw that race out the window, he's a major win candidate, very dangerous. Now, if it starts raining again, he's never run on a sloppy track. I like Irish War Cry. He's involved in my exotics. Now, 18 is Gormley. Gormley was the winner of the Santa Anita Derby. I put money on Gormley to win the San Felipe Stakes, and he fucked me right in the drink hole. He is a horse that you can't count on all the time. He wins the Santa Anita Derby, and we already discussed that it's the weakest group of California-bred horses we've seen in a while, so who cares? It was a subpar race overall. I'm not betting on Gormley. He's at 21-1. I don't have him involved in any of my exotics. If he wins the race, I lose everything. He's been training slowly. I don't believe in him. Victor Espinosa's riding him. I like Victor. Don't like Gormley. Out the door. 19. Now, when you're getting to these gates, 18th post, 19th post, it's so hard. You're going to be running wide the whole time. Practical Joke is in the 19th spot at 30-1. I watched him beat Syndergaard as a 2-year-old, and he looked incredible. He's raced twice as a 3-year-old, come second both times. He's a good horse, but I don't think this is his best distance. He's got Joel Rosario on him. He's a good horse. He's got a career best Bear of 92, which you would think is not fast enough to win the Kentucky Derby. But remember, last year, Nyquist had a career best Bear of 92, and he won the Derby. But I don't have Practical Joke in my exotics. If he wins the race, I lose everything. Unless he wins the race and Always Dreaming comes second, then I'm rich or whatever. Now, the final horse in the field is Patch. And what a sweet story and what an interesting horse this is. Patch had a eye infection as a baby, and he lost his left eye. And he is starting from the 20th gate with no left eye, which means he won't see all 19 horses to his left. It's just wild. Patch was bred for distance, and he'll love it. He'll love going long. He's going to be flying late. He's only at 15-1, and he should be higher. I believe that he's not higher because people are enamored with his story, the one-eyed horse coming from the 20th gate. My belief is that people who don't know anything about horse racing will be betting on Patch. And it's too bad because I like Patch, and Patch will come flying late. All right, that's it. So let's recap. I believe the 5 horse, Always Dreaming, will win the Kentucky Derby. I think Classic Empire will come second, Irish War Cry will come third, and Guinevere will come fourth. Those are my top 4 horses. I'll be using them in the exotics. Let me know your action. Hit me at Jimmy Sweazie on Twitter. Let me know what you're saying today. But drink your mint juleps. Have the best day you possibly can. It's a run for the roses. And know, when you're betting with the bag, the money's in the bag. Do it. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!